spiritual food for thought.
So my video today is going to be the first part of a multiple part series. There's going to be a couple videos at least following this. But today I'm going to focus on what did Jesus Christ look like. And some may think, well, this is kind of a pretty superficial thing. Like, who cares what he looks like? It's about who he was, not what he looked like. And I agree, absolutely. And then others may find this kind of against their views, or against what they think, or what they've been trained to think, or what they believe. All I'm going to do is just kind of see what God actually says, what he reveals in his word, and then we can, kind of begin to dive into the implications of this and why we see things the way that we do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out just two different passages, because these are probably the two best passages to actually understand what he actually looked like. The first one just establishes one thing about him, and the second one goes more into his appearance. But Isaiah is actually the only book we're going to use. We're not going to go to the New Testament at all here. And we're going to start in chapter 50, verse 6. So here it says, "I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from shame and spitting." So the one thing we know for a fact is that Jesus Christ had a beard. It says he hid not his cheeks from them that plucked off the hair. So if he was talking about something else, hair on his head, it wouldn't be about the cheeks. So we see that he did have a beard. I know a lot of times he's pictured as a guy with a beard. He's usually got some long flowing hair or something as well. Scripture never says that. And we can also gain some other things from Scripture about his hair length, potentially other things too. But at this point, I just want to say, look, the guy had a beard, which would probably fall in line with some things that we read back in Leviticus about kind of a man and part of how a man should look. God gave beards to men, mustaches and beards, and he gave women more clean faces. And except for here and there, when a guy can't really grow a beard, or when a woman happens to have some, hair on her face, that's kind of out of the norm, probably part of the fall, part of the curse. So first off, had a beard. Now we're going to head over to Isaiah 53. "For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of the ground. He hath no form or comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not." So at this point, we're talking about an ugly guy with a beard. I mean, let's get that out of the way right away. It does head on, in verse 5, it talks about him being wounded for our transgressions and stuff, but I believe this is from the get-go. It's not that when they took this beautiful guy and they beat him and they put a crown of thorns on him and he ripped his beard out and they smacked him, that then he became so ugly we had to hide our faces from him. No, I think that's kind of what he looked like to begin with. And in one of the next videos, I'll touch on some things that we can glean about that. But here, it says, there is no form or comeliness to him. Okay, there's nothing beautiful about his shape, his form. There's nothing desirable. When we shall see him, there's no beauty that we should desire him. If you see a lot of the pictures, the paintings, they're not photographs obviously, but pictures, paintings, images that people put up of how they portray Jesus Christ, he's usually this light-skinned, blue-eyed guy with this, nice beard and nice hair, and he looks like a nice, good-looking guy. That ain't him. That ain't him. Ugly guy with a beard. Ugly guy with a beard. That's how he came to this world. Okay, he didn't come with a beard. He grew that as he grew, older. But that's what we actually find out about him. And already some people are probably trying to throw up some sort of defense within themselves. Maybe you're recoiling as in horror as you consider, some ugly Messiah. But that's exactly how he came to this world. And I think that these days, especially after the portrayal usually that people do in the movies or when they have these images, these pictures and stuff, it's all way off. It's got nothing to do with that. Some people blame like, oh, well, when he was resurrected and he, they didn't recognize him. Maybe he was beautiful then. Okay. I probably doubt that. And, again, when we talk about him living his life or him in these movies and stuff, when you see the people they cast for it, they're certainly not looking for an ugly guy with a beard. So I'm just going to leave that here for today. What did Jesus Christ look like? He was an ugly guy, no beauty, no form, no comeliness, nothing desirable about him, to the point that people would kind of rather not look. Rather not look. And I mean, if you think about it too, he told them, hey, the foxes, they have their dens and the birds have their nests. He says, I don't have anywhere to lay my head. You think about that, like a homeless guy with a beard. That's probably more what he looked like. And, especially wandering around city to city, walking around, I don't know how many changes of garments he brought. I don't know these things, but I don't really see him with a backpack full of nice new linen to make sure he's got a pure white one with a nice little red sash around it every time he's going to do something or teach. Okay, that's not what we find happening. So I'll get into this a little bit more, and I'm kind of just slowly building upon this foundation to kind of share a couple things with you guys and get you guys thinking about some stuff. Because these days, we're a very superficial people. Even within the Christian church, okay? Even among believers. And, we want something beautiful. We want something our eyes are attracted to. That's what we've been trained and programmed to react like. And on sight, we would probably reject him too. He was despised and rejected. People hid their eyes from him. There was no form or comeliness. There was no beauty in him that anyone should desire him. Understand that first of all. And then hopefully come back next time and we can pick up where we left off. Okay. Be blessed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.